Hey guys, this is Adam here from Adam Media, and today I'm going to be showing you how you can add mood into your images. Let's go. And what I'm going to show you today is sometimes you may get an image that's really compositionally isn't the best, but you can still create something from it and still add mood, with a number of different colours and developments. And today I'm going to show you how to do that in Lightroom. Before I do come on to Lightroom, please feel free to follow me on my own Instagram account. It's at @AdamWarrenGold, and here I post a number of different kinds of images, a lot of travel images, some flowers as well thrown in there. But it'd be great if you could follow me as well, really appreciate it. So let's jump into Lightroom. Again, so this is an example that this was taken in Paris, and it was one of my first shots that I took when I got to Paris. Really, compositionally it isn't the best. There's a bit of lines here, some foreground, sort of, some midground and some background. Okay, we've got the Eiffel Tower in. And it could have easily gone into the reject pile, but I thought, you know what, there's some shadow, let's see if we can create something from it. So the first thing that I do is crop the image, because I know it's going to go on my Instagram account. So I always put a 4:5 because that's the settings that Instagram likes, and then just move it to where I want it to be. Again, this can be edited later on, and then just press enter. And then the first thing I'm going to do is I want this to be kind of a coldish, coolish type of image. So I'm going to first of all start with the color temperature and the white balance, and I'm just manually going to take this down to maybe around here for now. Again, it can always be changed later on and tweaked. While I do that, I'm also going to bring the exposure down slightly. And with that, I'm also going to bring the shadows down slightly, and also the highlights, because I can, I don't want some parts to be extremely bright. I also want to lead the viewer's eye to where I want it to go, and I'm going to build that myself. So in fact, let's take the highlights right down in this image. And it also brings back a lot of sky and adds some detail here. So just by making a few of those global adjustments, we can already see the changes starting to happen. Also, the lines kind of center towards the Eiffel Tower, which is where I want things to, to look. So, along with that, I'm also going to add a little bit of magenta slightly into the image. Yeah, that's okay, not too much here. And then I am going to affect the white. So what I'm going to do is I'm going to move the white point up slightly, because we've already reduced the highlights, so I want to still keep a bit of white in here, especially around the clouds area. But I'm also again going to bring the blacks down. So right now it does look like a very dark image, but that's okay. The main thing that's going to affect this image and make it into the mood that I want to set is, well, all based around the colour itself. So what I'm going to do is I'm going to come down straight to the colours, and I'm just going to add a little bit of red. I want to kind of make it that teal orange look. That's the type of development I'm looking for in this image. I'm also going to bring the yellows closer to the oranges. Probably about there. Don't need to do anything in terms of affecting greens and aquas at this stage. Actually, let's bring the aquas up a little bit more towards the blues. Again, we want it to focus around the oranges and the blues, so that's why we're making these changes here. So that's fine, and then I'm also going to move the blues down more towards the aqua. That's about right. Yeah, so kind of give it this kind of turquoisey teal type of look. And I'm going to saturate some of these colours and take away the colours that I don't want to be in it. So let's do that in saturation now. So first of all, the reds we're going to take out, because I want this to predominantly just be orange and teal. The oranges I'm going to take right up for now, and the yellows I'm going to take down, greens as well, and then I'm going to add a lot into the aquas, and the blues are going to come down, not all the way but slightly, to about there. And then I'm going to take the purples away and the magentas. Good. So this is before I applied the hue settings, hue and saturation settings, and this is after. So we're starting to create this look now. And also it's really brought out these lights here as well, which I quite like. So onto the luminance. So this will brighten certain colours of the image. So I found that the reds, I'm also going to affect the sky, so there's a little bit of red, and I think that will certainly add an extra element to this image. And let's bring the oranges up as well. I'm going to do some local adjustments in a moment, but I tend to make the global adjustments first, because I always think the local adjustments with the brush, it's kind of tweaking things. And I want to get the overall settings right. That tends to be how I do things. Let's just bring down those blues as well in terms of light. So there's not so much of a dominant colour now. I think it's a little bit more even. And then finally, with regards to colour, I'm going to come all the way down to the calibration, and I'm going to increase the hues of the teal. And then I'm just gonna, I'm gonna bring it closer to the teal rather, about there. And then the reds, I'm just gonna increase as well, more towards the oranges. Good, so that's okay. I mean, as far as the global adjustments, I'm quite happy with that for now. The next thing I'm gonna do is I'm gonna take the brush tool, or the adjustment brush rather, and there's a few different things I'm going to do here. I'm going to really bring out the oranges in certain areas and even add some orange to places where I'd quite like it to balance out and go. So to add orange, you just go to the colour, select the colour itself, the element of it. So I'm going to go with that for now. I'm also going to increase the temperature. I'm going to bring this closer. So I dial in the settings first. You can do it the other way, where you can make your brush and your adjustment where you want it to be and then increase it. I tend to do it at the start and then slightly tweak it at the end. So let's just make this a bit higher and also add a little bit of sharpness. So what I'm going to do here is I'm just going to affect this Luxembourg sign. I'm going to turn the mask overlay on so we can see exactly where the settings are going to be applied here. And I'm just going to roughly paint. I'm not going to do this perfect, but I want it to make some difference to it. So I'm going to bring out this sign now. And then just turn it off. So yeah, that's fine. So this is before and this is after. So that's fine on that front. And then what I want to do is add something to this part as well. I think we add a bit of orange. I just think it will look good. So I'm going to keep everything the same. I'm not going to bring my exposure up so high because this is more of a highlighted area. So just going to dial that down a little bit. And maybe bring the highlights up slightly. And then I'm just going to again paint. Let's just increase the brush slightly. And let's use the tablet and the stylus. If you haven't got a stylus, it's okay. You know, you can still use your mouse cursor, but I think the more you use this, the better it is. and the more you enjoy using an actual pencil, like rather than a mouse, after a while, definitely makes a difference. So yeah, I'm just going to add that in to here, mainly on this side of the image, because this is, I guess, where the sun is setting. Okay. So good, that's not too bad. I could also maybe saturate it a little bit more, and maybe just bring up the temperature slightly as well. Yeah, that's better. And let's just finalize this a little bit more. Yeah, so I think it just adds that little bit extra element. Just gonna paint behind the trees a little bit. And good, I like that too. What I'm gonna do next is I'm just gonna add a little bit more here and a little bit on these other orange highlighted areas. These subtle changes do make a big impact as you go along. I'm going to dial that up, and that's fine. So what I'm next going to do is I'm going to also look at the graduated filter, and then I am going to just dial that in here, just like that. And then what I may do is just increase the color temperature slightly, and maybe just up it like that. And that's made a bit of a difference. I'm just going to take the brush tool again, and I'm just going to really bring out these leaves, really bring this part to life now. And it's when you do the before and after you really see the difference, and that only a couple of small changes have made. But I quite like that. The last thing I'm going to do is I'm going to bring one more graduated filter, but I'm going to do this the other way. So I'm just going to reset my settings by double clicking effect. I'm going to add some magentas in here, and I am going to just bring it along this side, and then I'm just going to check where this graduated filter is affecting, like so. And then what I'm going to do is I'm just going to add a little bit of pink, a little bit of magenta, and that will just make a slight difference to the clouds and the sunset. You can take it further, you know, I can bring up the shadows here a lot more and everything, but you know, I quite like how that is affecting the image now. Good. So again, you can go further, it really just depends on your own image, but here is the before, here is the after. What I've done is I've brought the shadows right down, brought the exposure down, I've highlighted certain areas. You can see the sky has been affected as well. There's a lot of teals, oranges, and I think they complement each other really well in what would have otherwise been quite a boring standard image without the greatest of composition, I'll admit myself. You know, we've really brought out certain signs, certain elements, made them nice and orange, and I just think that's a lot more interesting. Yes, you can take it further, but you know, I'm quite happy with that. So that was how I edited this image. Let me know in the comments what you do to make your photos more moody, and what maybe you would have done differently with regards to this image. Also, feel free to subscribe, that really helps. You'll be getting all the future updated videos as well. And great, thanks for watching, and I'll see you next time.